Let's do a chart review for April 18th, uh, 2019. It was Thursday, the last day of the trading week. You can see in the pre-market that you had a sell-off, and then it had a very strong rally up into just the tops of the highs up here. As soon as the market opened at the blue line right here, it immediately began to sell. It sold down, tested the first volume node in the pre-market at the bottom, rallied back up to a small node that it had right here, and then basically tried to balance and build a node. Right here it finally broke down, traded down and tested the bottom of this volume node. Right here, attempted a bounce, made its own volume node right here, continued to sell back down, generating another volume node, and it finally found support across this large volume node right here. And if you look over on a larger time frame chart, you can see this a little bit easier, that there was quite a bit of trading action right here, and that's where it finally, right here, and this is where it found that support overnight. And I think I'd mentioned that overnight piece the night before. Rallies up, builds a volume node on top of this volume node, breaks structure on this side. This is the first point where the delta gets above the moving average, so you have a change of behavior here where they're starting to buy more aggressively. Breaks the structure, and it pretty much signals that the bulls are now in control. Trades back down right into the small volume node, tests the bottom of it, and then just takes off. This was like on no real delta at all. You can just see the bars are just, not that huge at all on this way up. So there was no real selling pressure to keep this down. It just kind of went up, and at that point it was back into this large volume node area, and that's pretty much where it fought for the rest of the day. It's a small sell-off, and last hour you got that buy. There was pretty good symmetry, I think, in the market. This first wave right here kind of gave you what to look for. If you probably extend that all the way over, you can see when it came back that it pretty much traded right in the exact same range. And if you pull it all the way down, you can see that basically it, stepped all the way down in the same increments. So symmetry of the market was really good. Even if you kind of blow this guy up and put like another one right in here, you can see it was even using the smaller levels inside there. They were working really good. So that kind of gave you targets and areas of how it was going to trade early on. Usually that first wave can be pretty good. Somewhere in there you can usually find something. Of course, the delta, this was pretty strong, right? So the selling got pretty far away from the moving average. When it came back to the moving average, that was the attempt, but that's usually the place where it fails again. Just like anything, like the moving averages on a chart or whatever, they talk about when it comes back, that's the location to get in and take the trade. Um, as far as my scalping levels went, you can see that we traded right down into this one, which was probably the better place because this was the opposing area of the chart right here. Came back up, touched the level, was holding those, basically bouncing between these two levels. Finally broke down. We'd already kind of tested this area, so you wouldn't want to take it. It attempted to make a bounce right here, but just too much pressure. And the next good level was probably right here in this volume node. Came down, never quite got to this line, but you can see that it bounced between my two lines right here. Came back down. This was probably the trade right here when it got into this area, and that was it. It was gone. But you can see that the scalping levels were still working up here. You might have got some of these and still got the bounces, but this absolutely ripped through every level. Didn't even stop. But yeah, so that was the day. You can see that we're already into Monday here, and that we're having a little bit of a sell-off, but structure looks okay when you look on the bigger time frame. You know, we're kind of down into this little node area, just like these. You know, we're kind of stepping up. You can see that they've already kind of bought off of it a little bit. But we'll see you in a little bit for the rewrite of the levels. Oh, I did want to cover this right here. When it came up, you can see that it when they bought it up, you can see that it came up into the top of this node right here, right? We keep on talking about volume nodes and testing the far side of the volume nodes. The first place that it sold was the bottom of this node. The next place that it sold was the top of this node. It sold back down, right? We have this little node right here. This node was generated right there. This node was generated on top of that one. This moved up. This node right here was built on top of this one. This comes down. There's really a kind of a node right here, but it's built on top of that one. And again, this guy moved up. Strong movement, tested the far side of this particular node right here. Sold back down, very strong. Goes up, starts to build a node on top of this one, right? Sold back down, back up. So I just wanted to show you that basically all the trading happens around these volume nodes right here. So pay attention to that.